Welcome to the Joyride podcast. I am so excited that you are here with me today. My name is Rebecca Joy. I'm a life coach, a motivational speaker, and your host. This is a space where we get real, we get raw, and we certainly are getting very honest with ourselves. Here we're talking about real growth. I'm talking the kind that changes how you see yourself, how you trust yourself, and how you decide to move throughout your life. We are exploring confidence, embodiment, intuition, identity, wellness, and the inner work behind real life transformation. You do not need to have it all figured out to be here because trust me, I certainly don't. There is no pressure to perform or become something or someone else. This podcast is meant to feel like home. It's a place where you can come back to and settle in and feel seen and celebrated and really reconnect with what matters most to you. So if you are ready to live with more alignment, certainty, and self-trust, you're exactly in the right place. So let's begin. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Joyride podcast. This is the first episode of 2026. So I'm very, very excited to be here with you, to have you listening to today's podcast. It's going to be a good one. I have been sitting on this topic for the past few weeks because honestly, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to open up the podcast in this new year. I'm sure that you can relate to this as well. But sometimes when it comes to a new year, I feel this pressure to just like wipe the slate clean. And I've been feeling that extra with the energy of the Year of the Snake coming to a close. If you have been listening along to the past few episodes of the podcast, I've been sharing a lot about the Year of the Snake. So technically the Year of the Snake is over on February 15th, I believe. And then we start the Year of the Horse on February 16th because it's the Chinese New Year. So technically we're still in the Year of the Snake, but we're also in 2026, which in numerology represents an entirely new year. So I'm definitely feeling like, okay, I'm in the energy of the new year, but also there are a lot of, other factors here that are coming into play, like it being winter right now. And I live somewhere where it's winter. Like, it's cold. It's really cold. It's actually probably going to snow tomorrow. And most days it's gloomy. And if I get a sunny day, I'm taking my ass out for a long ass walk because I'm just like craving the vitamin D and the sunshine. So that's one of the aspects that I'm feeling, still in that January, winter, rest, hibernation, slow things the fuck down type of stage. But I also do really love a new year. Like, I'm a Virgo sun. The Virgo energy runs deep in my veins, and I was so excited to finally start using my new planner and my new journal. And I do just love the idea of starting over, beginning again, and just creating a fresh new start for us. So however you're feeling, if you're still feeling like I don't really feel like much is happening for me right now, or you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're like, let's fucking go, everything and anything is great. It's not my job here to tell you how to act and how to move, but it is my job to help you really connect with yourself on a deeper level. That's the whole point of this podcast, and that's the whole point of why I share everything that I do share with you. So we're closing up the Year of the Snake. We are about to end Capricorn season, and that's what today's episode is going to be about. The energy that I've been feeling a lot lately, and I always feel this way at the beginning of the new year, especially during an earth sign season, so Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The theme is the joy is in the work. And that's what we are going to explore today. But before we get into that, first of all, Happy New Year and welcome back. So happy to have you here, of course. Before I forget, because I know that I will, I want to mention that for the month of January, and I know that, it's already like we're about to start February, which is just so crazy, but for the rest of the month, I have 2 Thursdays left that I'm offering free 30-minute human design chart readings. I will leave a few links down below if you are interested in signing up for one of those free sessions, because I do have a few slots left. So I'm sure you've heard me talk about human design on this podcast before if you are an active listener, but if you're like, what the fuck is human design? What is she saying? But you're someone that loves spirituality and personal growth and personal development. You're all about working smarter, not harder. At the end of the day, you just love yourself and you want to live your best fucking life and you want to use your energy in a way that you can work with yourself and not work against yourself. That's what human design is all about. But I will leave my Substack post that explains what the heck human design is. In that post, there will be links to sign up for the session, but I will also leave a separate link down below for you to just go right into the session. If you're like, nope, I already know what it is, never had my chart read, or maybe you've had it read by someone else in the past, but you're interested in getting my perspective, I will leave that link down below. Like I said, I wanted to mention that at the beginning of the episode because knowing me, I will forget it by the end and be like, oh, by the way, free sessions. So I have those free sessions up. I also have my regular sessions, which are a complete human design chart reading and breakthrough sessions. They are an hour each. They are up on my website. If you're just like, no, I want to full throttle, go in, life overhaul, I am here for you to give you guidance, support, insight in all of the ways that I can with my skills and gifts and knowledge. So if you're ready to jump right in, I will leave those links down below as well. Okay, let's get into today's episode. The joy is in the work. So Capricorn season for me is one of those funny seasons where I literally can feel myself, and it's such a big shift for me because if you are unaware, every zodiac sign has a polarity. So if you're a Virgo sun, your polarity will be a Pisces. If you are a Sagittarius, your polarity will be, why am I blinking? Sagittarius, what's your polarity? I'm sorry, I can't think of it at the top of my head. But every zodiac sign has a polarity. So basically, it's like your opposite energy. The opposite energy for Capricorn is Cancer. And we all know that I am a Cancer rising. I'm a very emotive, sensitive, all feeling, all energy human being because it's my rising sign, okay? So because Capricorn is my polarity, whenever I'm in Capricorn season, it's not necessarily that I feel my emotions shut off, but I can literally feel myself become way more focused on like work mode. And it's like, okay, we don't have like the time or the grace to like get all super in our emotions and is so sensitive and all the things. And let me tell you something. It is such a nice switch up for me because naturally I'm just like always in my feels and I feel everything and I'm so sensitive and I want to help everyone, and it's this whole thing. And as much as I love that this is how God made me, sometimes I'm just like, bro, can you throw me a fucking bone? Like, can I just not be super energy and all emotions and all of that all the time? So I definitely really have this gift where I can feel into each month and the energy of the month. I honestly don't know if it's a placebo effect of me just like convincing myself that I have this gift, but I swear that with each month, when we are in one zodiac sign and then we transition into the next, it's more so like wherever those gifts are in my chart, I feel really activated, which I feel like most people who are into energy work, energy mechanics, astrology, like into the same type of things that I am will probably be able to relate to this. But it is really, really cool to not just know, like, okay, Capricorn, this part of my chart is activated, but it's really cool to have that connection and to have that awareness with that knowledge and to truly see yourself embody where those gifts are being activated in real life. So for the first few weeks of the year, I always feel this way. I'm like, let's fucking go, heads down. I'm like, you gotta pay to play. For me, Capricorn season is all about getting the structure down for me in my life, creating new habits, creating new routines. It's really all about systemizing. Is that a word? I don't know, but creating systems in my life. That's what I feel like Capricorn season is for me. And I really like the energy that is available for me in Capricorn season because it does allow me to like really get my shit together and put my ducks in a row. And naturally, you know, with the essence and the energy of, okay, we just finished up the holiday season and it's a new year. Naturally, I think if you're not into any of this stuff, you can just take to that energy like, okay, cool, we're done with the holiday season. It's time to like clean up my diet, you know, get back into a regular sleep routine, get back into the gym. Like, you know, that's just the universal collective energy that we have. But I think it's really, really important to notice again what is feeling activated for you in your life and where just you don't even necessarily need to look to your astrology and human design, even though it is very helpful. But just like sitting with yourself and asking yourself those questions of like, okay, where do I think that I need to be a little more disciplined and consistent, and where I could really use some more structure, systems, and just like more of this energy of I want to build something consistently. And yeah, just like asking yourself those questions, whether it's sitting with yourself. I really like to put pen to paper. So like journaling things out. I've noticed that about myself over the past 6 months. Like I just naturally am in my head so much with being a Virgo sun, Gemini moon. Whereas some days I've noticed, because I've been doing this new practice, which I will talk a little bit more about later, where I'm noticing that just like so many of my thoughts naturally live in my head, and I have to actively be like, get your ass out of bed, Rebecca, or like go journal, or like go write this down, go write it down in your planner, because I can just, it's very natural for me to want to just have everything sit in my head. So that was just a little tangent, but going and actually writing things down, I have found it is just super, super helpful. So we are about to end Capricorn season, actually, and we're about to enter into Aquarius season. And this is also a great season to piggyback on top of Capricorn season, because Capricorn season is all about like, the hard work, and we're creating systems and we're building. Aquarius energy is all about like uniqueness and innovation, and just like there's this really cool energy of just like, I'm just going to put myself out there because I want to grow and evolve and innovate. And Aquarius season, I don't want to get too much into that season now, but for me, it's this energy of like, I don't give a fuck. And that's also great energy to start the year off on, or start the year off in, as we then transition into like watery, sensitive, dreamy Pisces energy, which is nearing the springtime and the spring equinox. But to stay in our lane here, going back to the theme and the energy of the joys in the work. So why I'm talking about Capricorn season, because Capricorn is all about work. Those Capricorns are fucking workhorses. Funny enough, my 7th house is in Capricorn. I don't have any placements there, but as I've become older, wiser, more mature, I'm more intuitively just aware of what I need in a life partner, I'm like, oh, my man is going to have some strong ass Capricorn energy because he's going to be a hustler, he's going to be a builder, and he's going to hold it the fuck down so his beautiful, amazing, sexy, brilliant wife can shine in all her glory. So Capricorn season, and the joy is in the work. The past few weeks for me, as I've explained, have been all about like systems and really getting into my routines and all this stuff. And let me tell you, I was really feeling myself for the past few weeks, like, hell yeah, I'm being so productive. Like, look at all this growth. Like, look at all this consistency. Look at how I'm showing up for myself. I created a new workout plan, and every time I'm in the gym, I'm like actually so fucking excited to be there. I haven't felt that way in months because I was just like being a flowy, intuitive gym girly. But I love being on a program so much. So I'm like, you know what? Enough is enough. I need to create myself a program. So I created a program for myself. I have been really good about my morning routine. I have a very methodical morning routine that involves a lot of wellness things, a lot of personal development things, new tools and resources that I'm using. And I've also been really good about my sleep. And then in between, I'm using my new planner. I'm checking things off the list. It's not like I'm getting everything done every day. It's my focus during Capricorn season is not about perfectionism at all. It's more so about like, what can I consistently build here? So for the first few weeks, I've been feeling a lot of momentum. I've been feeling really good. But this is where it gets a little tricky for not just me, but for most of us. When we're in that flow of routines, we're like, hell yeah, this is feeling really good. I'm showing up for myself. I'm showing up for my routines. And then something starts to slip, or there's just like a change in the air. There's just a change in something within you, whether it's like, okay, what next? Or I'm waiting on the proof and it's not here yet. You know, there's always some type of energy that can really be kind of like the devil, and it can kind of whisper to us like, okay, you know, it's time for something new now. Or, you know, that anxiety comes into play, that fear, that stress, that like, you know, I know that you know what I'm talking about. There's just a shift in the energy. For me personally, when I'm in my groove for a few weeks and I'm feeling good, I get to this point where I'm like, okay, that was great, but now I'm fucking bored. And that's my Gemini moon talking. That's also because I'm a manifesting generator and I just need variety and I need stimulation in my life. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? And I think that's what the energy of every month, like that's the gift that it shows us, right? And I think that's why it's so cool to feel into the energy of each month. It's like, okay, what is Capricorn season here for? It's here to help you build with consistency and with discipline. And it's really cool because I have people in my life who have that strong Capricorn energy, and it's really cool to see how that energy plays out when it comes to just how they live their lives, how they operate, and how their personalities are. But for me, I always experience this feeling of, I'm bored now. I need some variety. I need to shake it up. And also, where the fuckity fuck is the proof? Like being an earth sign, I need the proof. And it's been easily one of the hardest, most challenging aspects that I've had to deal with in my life because I'm such a big dreamer, but I also really fucking long for the proof. And I know that I'm not the only one who can admit that. We all need proof. We all need to be validated. We all need to be like, okay, I'm doing all this work. What the fuck is it for? So in these moments, especially this past week where I was waiting on my period, and my period the past few times has decided to come a few days late. So naturally, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to have this big release because, you know, it is a big energetic release. We all know how much the luteal phase fucking blows. And just like when you're PMSing for the week before and you can feel yourself getting like super emotional and super sensitive, I actually wasn't feeling overly emotional or sensitive. I think it's because of like the strong Capricorn energy, but I definitely was feeling like, okay, my body is asking for this release and it's not coming. So it came a few days late. And when I tell you this past week, I've just been on one, and not on one on like a good way. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was doing so well. I had all of these weeks where I was just like on my shit and on my grind and feeling super good. And now I'm just like wanting to eat sugar and wanting to do all these things. And, you know, I'm just in my head a lot and I'm beating myself up and I'm overthinking and I'm getting super fearful and anxious. And again, this is very normal when you're on your period because your hormones are fucking with you. But for me, it's really been about reconnecting with the work and truly finding joy in the work. I am someone who has been doing, when I say the work, I don't mean like physical labor. I don't mean like going to a 9-to-5 job. I mean like the internal shit that's really hard to do, you know, whether it's taking care of your health and your wellness, going to the gym, doing that deep, you know, personal development work where you're being faced with your biggest demons and shadows and family trauma and this and that. That's what I mean when I say the work. And every single day when I'm in the work, some days, half of the time this month, where I'm not like, hell yeah, I'm so excited. I'm like, I really don't want to do this. And I'm being honest about it. And I'm, you know, in the past, I would have met myself with a little more flowy energy of like, it's fine, babe. You're intuitive. You can just do whatever feels good. But let me tell you, that Capricorn season energy has been really doing something to me. And also, it's this energy of doing something fucking differently. It's like I can really, really feel that energy of the horse being like, you asked for change, bitch, you gotta fucking change. And that's the thing that most people who want change but aren't willing to make a change can't fully grasp. It's this idea of, oh, wait a second, I'm actually going to have to change in order to experience change. It's like, yeah, it kind of works like that. So I have had so many mornings this past week as I've been PMSing, my hormones all over the place. I'm like, I was breaking out really badly this week, you guys. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? What is happening here? Being in the work has brought me not just this sense of pride and joy for showing up, because that's just one element here, right? It's like when you say that you don't want to go to the gym and then you're like, fuck it, let's just go, and you just like get your ass in the car. We all know that the hardest part is just like that first step. It's like getting your ass up out of bed in the morning, you know, or like taking that cold shower or going for a run or working on a presentation that you've been delaying for 3 weeks, right? The hardest part is just getting yourself there. I don't know why. I guess I could like go and read some studies on the neuroscience, but I don't really feel called to do that, you know. But it's like, why is it so hard to just get ourselves there? But then you get yourself there and then you start to do it. Then you're like, wait, this like actually isn't that bad. Why was I like trying to talk myself out of this for 20 minutes? You know, it's just what we do as humans, right? I lost my train of thought for a second. Naturally, nothing is new here, but I'm trying to go back to like where I was trying to get at here with why it's so hard to show up, and then you show up and you feel super good. Okay, but then after the workout happens and you're full of endorphins and you're like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself for what I just did. And you probably were listening to some of your favorite songs and you got into your groove and you got into your flow state and you're like, hell fucking yeah. I'm so glad that I showed up for this workout, even though I was battling myself because I didn't want to do it. That's just one piece of it. It's just like how much pride and joy you have for yourself for just showing up. Another element is this idea that you actually are compounding when it comes to doing the work. Like, it really is about creating that 1% change every single day that you show up for yourself. And a lot of times it's not like we don't see the change, because sure, we can see, those tiny bits and pieces of change along the way. But then there comes one day way further down the road when you look up and you're like, holy fuck, like, oh my God, I'm such a different person now. Maybe you're someone who was never a morning person and you've been like really on your grind when it comes to waking up before the sunrise so that you can, have an hour for yourself in the morning before you go off to work. Or maybe you've just never been someone who's loved the gym or healthy eating, but you've been challenging yourself for the past 30 days. It's that like awe and the wonder of like, oh my God, like, whoa, I actually did change. But again, it's so hard to stay consistent and to stay committed to whatever it is you're doing if along the way you aren't able to connect with something deeper. For me, that something deeper is just pure gratitude for the work. And I can very humbly say that I love this work. It is not just a part of me, it is who I am as a person. And I had spent so many years in my 20s almost being a little just like, God, why did you make me this way? Like, the work sometimes feels so obsessive and it feels so like I have to do this, where it can very easily become so draining and feel like a chore and feel almost just like you're a slave to the work. And I've gone through so many phases of my life, not to say that I've spent years in this type of energy, because I really haven't, but trust me when I say I've gone through so many phases where it feels like, why the fuck can't I just be one of those people that just goes with the flow? Why can't I just be one of those people that just wakes up and starts their day, on a high note, in a great mood? Like, why? Why do I feel like I have to do all of these 67 million different things in order to make myself feel good? And I now understand that, one, it's super important to not get so caught up in like doing that trend and this wellness thing and doing this workout and applying to this type of job. And it's like, we have so much information at our fingertips nowadays. Whenever I'm in one of those spirals where I just feel like I almost can't even catch up with myself and my whole day is just spent trying to regulate myself, I'm like, take yourself out of the matrix, babe. Like, you're intaking too much information from people. Shut off the noise, put up your fucking boundaries, and start to sit with yourself and listen to whatever it is that your body is telling you that it wants. Because I promise you, you don't need as much things as you're probably telling yourself. So that's one thing. But the second part to this is realizing that it's such a damn gift to do this work. I actually was just telling my parents tonight when I was having dinner. I'm like, I heard my dad leaving this morning. And I can tell that he goes straight from his bed to brushing his teeth to leaving. And I'm like, do you guys even have a glass of water most days before you leave? If they're going to something, of course, if they're like sitting down and they're having breakfast, they will. But my parents are like, no. And then my mom was telling me about her morning routine back in the day when we lived in Northern California. When she would go to her workout place early in the morning, she was like, I would get up super early in the morning. I would take the dogs out. I would brush my teeth. I would put on my workout clothes and I would just go. And I'd be like, you didn't even have a glass of water? You didn't even have like 5 minutes to just check in with yourself? She's like, no. And I'm like, that is so wild to me, because in what world would I survive if I couldn't do all of my things that truly bring me so much joy? Even if some days it feels like a bitch and it feels like it's so much work, that just is not who I am as a person. I was having a call with my friend Jordan, who was a guest on this podcast two episodes ago. Yeah, it was the second to last episode of 2025. And I was telling her about my, vision board themes and my goals for 2026, and telling her about my perfect day. And I'm like, you know what, Jordan? Like, I am not that type of girl that thinks her perfect day is like waking up at 7:30 with the sunrise and just like lounging around the house with her cup of coffee. I'm like, no, actually my dream day is like, I want to get up when it's super dark. So like probably 6 a.m. or something, and do my full spiel of all of the things in the morning, all my wellness things, all my personal development things that make me feel so good. And then after I do all of that, I want to sit on my beautiful couch and my beautiful floor to ceiling window apartment or my penthouse with my man, and have coffee and just be present with him for a little bit in the morning. And then I want to go to the gym. But this is all happening like in the wee hours in the morning, when I'm doing my millions of things. And that felt and it rang so true to me. And I realized, like, kind of in that moment, for so many years I've been like fighting myself with these natural gifts and just like where my energy wants to go, which is kind of funny and kind of ironic because like this is what I teach with human design. It's like, don't move against yourself, like learn how to work with yourself. And of course I've done this over the years, but I can very humbly admit, there are still some things that are hard for me to grapple with. And this is one of those things because for so long I felt like, it's just like, I have to do all these things to feel so good. And it just feels like a lot. It feels like a lot. But with Capricorn season, I have found so much pure joy in doing the work. Every morning when I sit down, I've been doing something called journal speak, which I do not want to get into now. I will get into it in a later episode when I've given myself a few more weeks to really be in this work, but I look forward to it every day. I've had a few days where I'm like, I don't want to sit here and I don't want to pour out everything that I'm feeling and thinking emotionally right now first thing in the morning. But every time I do it, I end my journal speak. So I'm basically writing on my computer. And I'm just like, thank you for this practice. I am so grateful for this. I am so grateful for how I feel right now. It's almost like comical to me sometimes how we can start off just like, oh my God, this is the worst thing. It's almost like, when you've been sitting your ass on the couch all day and then you finally decide to get up and go for a walk and it's like a gorgeous sunny day. It's like 65 degrees and you're like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, it's one of those things when it comes to doing the work, but then you prime yourself and when you're in it, to be able to connect with that deep, deep, deep sense of gratitude and joy, however that looks like and however that feels like for you. For me, I usually get super emotional. Okay, this is like I'm a Cancer rising. I cry all the time because of something that popped into my head, happy or most of the times happy, to be honest. But when I get so damn emotional when I'm driving to the gym, so freaking grateful that I have this space that I love coming to every single day and moving my body and having that just like jolt of new energy surge in my body after overthinking or feeling super anxious or like, oh my God, just spiraling. We all do that. And this work is such a gift because the way that you do quote unquote the work is going to look very different from how I do the work. On Friday, I had 4 days of really amazing workouts. I had a lower body day, an upper body day. I went to hot Pilates. And then what else did I do? I did another workout. Okay. And by Friday, the way that I wrote my workout program, I have my second glute day. So basically Monday through Friday, I get all of my workouts done. And on the weekends, I can chill and kind of just go for walks or do whatever I want because I was finding over the past, I don't know, maybe like ever since I moved here, I would kind of like half-ass because I was still, gaining my energy back from being so like burnt out and so energetically drained that I would kind of just like let myself, do whatever I felt like I had the energy for, which was fine. But now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be on a program again, and I'm ready to really hit it hard Monday through Friday. I like a more structured work week. I have found out about myself, even though I've worked for myself for so many years. Like, I do actually really like the idea of a 9 to 5, but more so for me, it symbolizes like Monday through Friday, I'm going really hard and I'm in it and I'm focused and I'm disciplined and I'm on my shit. So that when the weekend comes, I give myself a few days to just like really do whatever intuitively I'm feeling called to do. That's just what feels good for me. But by Friday, I had gotten my period and I was like, I just don't think I can deliver a leg day today. You know, it's feeling like it's a little too much for me. So it was like 35 degrees outside and I went for a walk, and at first I was like, holy shit, it's going to be really, really, really cold. It was perfect. The sun was out. Half of the time I didn't even listen to anything. And then the second half, after I like felt the juices flowing, I listened to a really powerful activation, which is one of my like doing the work tools. And I just was like, fuck yes. This is the joy that I crave. I can get so caught up in like, where's the proof? Where are the results? Why isn't my life changing so much overnight? I get so sometimes, which is something that makes me sad because I want to change this for myself in 2026 to not be so focused almost on like where I need fixing or where I need correction. But it's definitely a Virgo trait. Like, the Virgo sign is the most like, I don't know, historically like pure sign out of all the zodiac signs. It's built for purity. So it senses where there are cracks in the foundation. It senses what needs to be fixed. It senses what needs to be refined, and it really focuses on that first. Sometimes about myself, even though on the outside I may come off as this like positive and optimistic, like internally I definitely do first thing kind of notice like what's wrong and what's negative. And I don't personally, not like with, definitely not with other people and definitely not with outside things, but it's like using the Virgo gifts kind of on myself, but not in the best way, to be honest. So I've been noticing that obviously about myself for a long, long time, but of course we have those times when things are heightened, like when you're about to get your period or you're moving through something really heavy or really draining in your life. And that's when those things about yourself, those dark parts of yourself really are heightened. And it saddens me, but I also know that like, okay, I can learn how to work with this energy. For me, being able to work with this is to continuously show up and do the work and to really preach about doing the work, because I see the people that I aspire to be like, my expanders, people that empower me, people that motivate me. And I'm like, these are the people that, one, they are talking about doing the work every single day, whether it's journaling, meditating, moving your body, eating a certain way, nervous system regulation tools, like, you know, how you're spending your money, how you're using your energy, what you do for work. Like, there are so many different things that I could talk about, but these are people that are actively talking about the work every single day. And sometimes, or not sometimes, I used to almost like convince myself that these people were kind of invincible. Like, you know, can I be one of those people that just like wakes up and has an amazing fucking day and doesn't have to do anything? And I have tried during phases of my life to like cut out all of the things that just make me feel so good. Why? I don't really know. I think it's one of those things where sometimes you just like have to do the opposite of what you know is really, really good for you in order for you to very clearly see like, oh yeah, that's not meant for me. That's not how I'm meant to move. Like, I am just not someone who wakes up and is like, yeah, I don't really have a morning routine. Like, I just kind of float around and I do whatever I feel called to do. Like, that, I would be so stressed and so anxious the whole time. I'd be like, why am I not working out? Why am I not journaling? Why am I not sitting and doing meditation? What? Like, I would just start asking myself a million questions of why am I not doing all the things that I just naturally want to do? And that's what it comes down to. Finding the work that you naturally want to do. I just would wish this for anyone and everyone. Like, when I'm in the work and I'm in that just like almost like state of euphoria, it feels so euphoric. Like, I'm filled with so much love for the work. I'm filled with so much joy for the work. I'm so present. I just feel so grateful for the work. It helps me so much because I'm so present in the work. I'm not worrying about how this is going to happen. When is that going to happen? This or that. And I just wish that everyone could experience that. Truly, like, I want that feeling for everyone, because we all are going to have to show up and do the work. And maybe your work is like putting in the reps and putting in the hours at your job in order to hit a certain position. Or maybe it's, you in your business, or whether you are someone that has never been into working out, but you're really, really committed to making this year the year that you fall in love with some type of workout. We all have our different ideas of what the work is, and I want to be an expander for you and to remind you of why we do the work. There is this quote from Nicole Sachs, who I've been really into her work lately. I've been reading her book, Mind Your Body. I found out about her through Elizabeth, who runs the wellness process. She's been talking about her work forever. Journal speak is what I've been doing every day. And she says this line. She's like, life is about, why am I blanking the exact words right now? But it's like, life is all about the decision between, what's hard and what's harder. Basically, she's saying, like, life is fucking hard and you have to choose your hard, because either route that you choose, it's going to be hard. And I know that we have heard this a million times. And I'm going to tell you 1,000,001 times, because guess what? It's a new year. We're ending Capricorn season. We're like, I don't know, a week and a half away from being done with the first month of the year. Find the work that not just is easy, but the work that genuinely makes you fucking feel something, that makes you feel pride for yourself, that makes you feel joyful, that makes you feel fulfilled, that brings you just like so much emotion that, you're so grateful for it that it makes you want to cry. Or maybe you're not a crier like me, but you're like, hell yeah. You just have so much, I don't know, emotion connected to it. Or you know what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying. You know the feeling that you get after you do something, after you're consistent with something, after you've studied so hard for that test, and then you get your score back and you get such a good score. You know how damn good it feels. And that's the message for today's episode. Find your joy in the work, because life is all about the work. Life is made up of not these huge milestones that we see on Instagram at the end of the year. Life is not about that. Life is in our daily decisions. Life is in our daily rituals and practices and habits. And I know that's coming from the Virgo that is all about that. But I have found so much joy in my work. So even in those times where I'm like, okay, I'm bored, or like, okay, I'm getting a little antsy, find ways to track the work so that you can see what is happening when you don't have those external proofs. I actually this morning just wrote out this thing for ChatGPT and was like, I need some help with tracking my proof, because I am someone who can get very antsy about like, where's my proof? And then just like start comparing myself to other people. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So help me create a system for me to track the proof. And it wrote me such a great system. It was so simple. It was so attainable. And I was like, Heck yes, I can do this every week. I can sit down with myself. Honestly, I can probably even do it every day. Like asking yourself a few questions of like tracking the habits that you did. How did you feel after you did said habit? You know, did something great happen to you this week? And maybe, you know, at first thought, you don't think there's a connection between them, but there probably is a connection. Like, oh, I actually got this random email from this person offering me this job opportunity, or this person reached out to me. You know what I'm saying? Find a system in order for you to track your joy. And again, that joy can be defined as a feeling. It can be defined as, you know, something physical, something that you can hold, something. I wouldn't necessarily say just track the physical, tangible things, but again, you know what you need in order for you to really connect with this energy of how am I going to get myself to continuously show up for the work? Because we are all on our own path and on our own journeys, and we will go through those times throughout this year, I promise you, where things are going to get a little rocky. Things are going to get hard. Things are going to be challenging, okay? And that is not the time to abandon the work. How many people that I have heard from in the past, clients, friends, that just like, fuck my workouts, fuck eating healthy, I don't have the time, I don't have this is more important. I'm like, what? There's nothing that's more important than you devoting yourself and dedicating yourself to finding your joy in the work. So finding 15 minutes in your day to go for a walk and move your body or do a workout, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. We can't just abandon the work because the circumstances aren't perfect. That's not when you abandon the work. If anything, that's when you double down on the work and you say, I really don't want to be here. But that's why you track the proof. Because if you need that proof that's going to show you feel so much less anxious or stressed after you do this one meditation, or after you just find a random meditation on YouTube and you sit with yourself for 15 minutes. If you have that tracked down, if you have that written down, you will literally see it and be like, oh, why am I fighting myself so hard to just not go there? We spend so much time thinking about how I can use my time most wisely. You know, how do I plan out my day? You're wasting so much time. You're wasting so much time on convincing yourself, do I go to the gym or do I not go to the gym? Do I eat this donut or do I not eat this donut? Do I apply for this job or do I not apply for this job? It's like, let's be so for real with ourselves right now. And that's why finding that work that feels really good for you is one thing, but also being able to track that work is going to help carry you throughout the rest of the year as you make these incredible milestones, which I know that you will. I know for me, the year of the horse, 2026, this is a big, big, big year for me. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm genuinely getting myself back, getting my life force energy back. I'm ready to make big fucking moves in my life. It's just a really big year. And I know that I can't do that. I can't have these big life changes in my life if I'm not committing and devoting myself to the work. So I know that I'm going to have days where I'm like, don't want to be here, don't want to be here, don't want to be here. I don't feel good. I just want to cry. I just want to sleep. I want to do this. I'm going to be like, here's your proof. You tracked it. So even if I can't just like get myself and will myself to do it, which for most of us, we have a really hard time with just like being super willful. It's not common that you can just like do something out of sheer will. So that's why tracking this work is going to be so imperative for you as we continue on throughout the year, especially right now, again, because, you know, being in January, it's not like the sun's out all the time and it's super warm, or maybe it is where you are, but, you know, we have these seasons for a reason. I believe, we start the year in Capricorn season for a reason, because, it's not about playing games. It's not about like, okay, let's just like fuck around and find out. It's like, no, you said you wanted something different this year. Okay, bet. We're going to create a new system for you. We're going to create new routines and new habits. And yeah, it might feel a little boring and it may feel like, where's the fun in all this? But remember, you got to pay to play. Like, we're playing the long game here. We're not playing a short game. We're not doing this for instant gratification. We're not, like, this is for the rest of your life. We set up these systems. We find the work that brings us so much joy and so much fulfillment because it changes us from the inside out. And if you haven't been changed yet, just know that this is a compound effect. If you're looking at your life and you're like, well, I'm doing all this work and nothing in my life is changing on the outside, I promise you that you can't give up. I promise you that you have to dig deep and you have to find that sense of joy and fulfillment and presence in whatever you're doing, and just have a little bit of faith. Just have a little bit of certainty that there will be a day when things start to shift externally. If you're trying to look at it from the other perspective of, everything else has got to change on the outside until I change on the inside, I'm just telling you now, you do not want to start off your year like that, because you will be putting yourself in a very, very, very bad position. Do not be that person that only changes if something on the external changes. Be that person that is so devoted, so dedicated to changing yourself, to changing how you view your days. Be that person, and I promise you that you will have such an incredible and transformative year. And do not let that energy go. It is okay that you will go through harder times throughout the year. It is okay that sometimes you're going to be like, I don't have 100% to give. That's okay. We're not robots. We're not built to give 100% of our energy every day. That's why we lean on people. That's why we have partners. That's why we're in partnership. That's why we have friends. That's why we have family and communities, and we have our tribe, because we need support. So even if you only have 40% to give that 40% and just see what you get back from doing the work. Because the work will always, always, always give you something back, because it is a gift. Because it is a gift. You are always getting something back in return. Okay, so that is the end of the first episode of 2026. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I would love it if you have not already done so to please rate the podcast, share it with someone that you think needs to hear this message today. I love when I hear your comments about the episodes, your messages about the episodes. I love hearing that you decided to pass it on to a friend, a family member. Truly, all of your love and support and appreciation does not go unnoticed. This podcast means so much to me. You as a listener means so much to me. And I just can't wait to see the energy that comes through for 2026. So with that, I love you. Thank you for being here. And stay tuned for the next episode. Bye.